This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. This time the video will be on my own personal YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me this Wednesday evening. I hope you have all had a fantastic week, and I hope also that you are doing very well. What I've got coming up for you today is it's time to slip in another classic review video, I think. This video might actually go down as the official handover video between Classic Watch 25 and Classic Watch 2026. Rather like the last video we did, the Classic Review, we are taking a look at races on two websites today. The Classic Watch 2000, the Classic Watch 2025 Classics, the Japanese St. Leger and the French St. Leger, featuring 3-year-olds. And from the Classic Watch 2026 website, we're continuing our look at the Australian Classics, taking a look at the Victoria Derby, the VRC Derby, and the Crown Oaks that are taking place at Flemington, And for the first time in the Classic Watch 2026 series, we will be taking a look at New Zealand Classics this year. And we're getting underway with the New Zealand Classics as well. The New Zealand 1000 and 2000 Guineas, which were held earlier this month at Riccarton Park. So they're the races we've got coming up. What we're going to do is, in the usual fashion, we're going to take a look at all of the races. We're going to show replays of all 6 races. We're then going to take a look at the results of the 6 races. And we're going to end each race by taking a look at the performance of any Classic Watch horses that were identified prior to the race. That is on both Classic Watch 25 for the 3-year-olds in France and Japan, and Classic Watch 2026 for the 3-year-olds in Australia and New Zealand. But before we do that, where can people find these horses? Well, the first website we're going to take a look at features the first 2 classics of this video. classicwatch25.great/site.net is where people are able to find the horses. You'll see their Classic Watch 25 really is coming towards the end of its cycle. It's about ready for a good old-fashioned update of pattern races won by all horses on the site this year. The website Roll of Honour is by no way complete at all. And hopefully, you never know, in the last 2 months, there might be some more races taken out by horses identified on this website, classicwatch25.great/site.net. But the first race we are interested in this video purposes comes from Kyoto. And it is the final race of the Japanese Classic schedule. We're going to take a look now at the Japanese St. Leger, featuring 2 horses on Classic Watch 25, Eri King and Amakihi, who was one of the first time out unbeaten horses that made it to a classic. So he got included, as well as Eri King, who was a trial winner, who went to the race in good shape as one of the Fancy Brothers. So before we take a look at the race, let's take a look at the results. Let's take a look at the race now and see what we think.
3,000 ahead of the Makika Show for 2025. They're off and racing. Nice even dispatch. Amaki kicks up on the inside. Going forward as well with Yamanin Bouclier and Right Track. Out wider is GT Adamon. Just in behind them, Shohei. Then comes Rex Novus. Wider out pressing on is GT Bio. Back in behind them, pulling back for cover now is Right Track. Wider out pressing on is Red Band-Aid. They got over quickly from barrier 18. That was the plan. Gertschel in behind them with Giovanni. Then comes Leia Red. Back on the inside to Arondi. On the fence is Amakihi. Then 3 across the track. The inside is Coachella Valley. On its outside, Energico. Then wider out, Ra Shalom. The last 3. Back to the inside. Trying to get a bit of cover, but successfully pulling back to the rail. And Eri King's back at the tail at the moment. And one at the outside we thought would go forward in my universe, with Yutaka Take is starting to peel out and go on 3 wide at the back. And at the rear at the moment with Mirage Knight. They go past the winning post the first time. GT Adamant leads them up from Yamanin Bouclier. Rex Novus runs third. Shohei in a good position in fourth. Then comes Excite Bio. Back to the inside is Red Bande. Followed on its inner is Right Track. Outside them, moving up and three wide is Ras Shalom. Giovanni midfield, followed by Gertstel. Moving on now is Maya Universe. Then comes Amakihi. Well back Orondi. On its outside, Leia Red. Then comes Energico, well back in the run. Back to the inside, Coachella Valley. Followed by Eri King. And at the tail of the field is Mirage Knight. They get to the 1,200 metre mark in the back straight here in the 2025 version of the Kicker Show, and GT Adamant is now being tackled by Shohei on the outside and Rex Novus three wide. Good cover for Yamanin Bouclier. Sight Bio's had a nice cushy run in behind them as well. Then Red Bande. Wider out is Ras Shalom. Going on still three wide is My Universe. The inside under pressure already is Right Track. Being passed now by Orondi. Now Energico takes off. Gertschel tries to follow it. The inside Giovanni's been shuffled back. On its outside, pressing on Eddie King. Well back Coachella Valley with Leia Red. Wider out, starting to pick up Mirage Knight. And now Amakihi is at the tail of the field. The pressure goes on at the 600 metre mark. And join now Excite Bio. Out wider, circling them is My Universe. In between them is Rex Novus. Held up for a run. In behind them is Shohei. And peeling out wide is Energico with Christophe Lemaire. They've got down with 350 metres to run. The inside trying to lift is Excite Bio. Here's Energico. Christophe Lemaire goes to the lead. Eric King and Gertstel is running on. Energico's got the lead. Trying to jump out of the ground late is Excite Bio. And out wide Eric King and back to the inside Red Bande. It's going to be Energico. There's 5 for Christophe Lemaire. Wins from Eric King. Tight for third. Rattling home late was Gertschel. Wider out. Finishing off strongly was Mirage Knight. Back to the inside was Giovanni. Also there was Leia Red. Red Bande, Excite Bio tried to hang on. Coachella Valley when it was all over. Orondi, then Leia Red, followed by My Universe, who knocked up in the home straight. Makihi then came right, being behind them, Right Track. A big gap away.
Interesting race there, I thought. Unfortunately, the one of the Classic Watch 2025 runners, Emmy King, really got going far too late in that race, didn't he? It's fair to say. And by then, the winner had already got first run on him on the day in the Japanese St. Ledger, and I do think the horse was a worthy winner. The 14-5 favourite, Energico, sired by Juramenti, out of a dam called Enora, who herself was sired by Novair, trained by Mizuki Takayanaki, and ridden by C.P. Lemaire, taking out the Japanese St. Ledger, running to a Racing Post rating of 114. Second on the day, the first Classic Watch 2025 participant, Eri King, sired by Kizuna, out of a dam called Youngstar, an Australian-bred dam, who herself was sired by High Chaparral, trained by Mitsamukasa Nakuchida, and ridden by Yuga Kawada. That horse ran to a Racing Post rating of 110. Third on the day, the Japanese Legend was the 82-1 shot, Excite Bio, sired by Ray Dioro, out of a dam called Animate Bio, who herself was sired by Zeno Rob Roy. That horse trained by Taichi Kono and ridden by Kiwamo Ogino. And the horse ran to a Racing Post rating of 109 to secure a classic place. The other horse we need to take a look at for the Classic Watch horse was Amakihi. The 45-1 shot could only finish 11th in the race, beaten 8 3/4 lengths. The horse sired by Black Tide, out of Apapane, who herself was sired by King Kamehameha. Amakihi trained by Sako Kunida and ridden by Kato Tosaki, ran to a Racing Post rating of 102 on the day. He beat some home. He finished 11th out of 18. So we had one in the top 10, finishing second, and won just outside the top 10, finishing 11th. A good hard-fought victory there by the favourite on the day, Energico. Our two horses where you see there, Eri King, has not been seen since he was second in the Japanese St. Leger, winner of the Group 2 Kobe Shinbun High before that in September. The only time this horse has been beaten has been in classics. You know, the horse has won a Group 3, an open race and a Group 2 race, and has been beaten 11th in the Guineas, 5th in the Japanese Derby, and 2nd in the Japanese St. Leger. So he's had a fairly solid year, hasn't he, really? The other one, Amakihi, has seen as one that's really found wanting at pattern level. The horse has won 3 out of his 7 starts, but he's won a winners of 2 race, a 1 winners race and a debut. He has been beaten. He was 17th in the Hopeful Stakes. The horse was also 5th in the Group 2 TV Tokyo High Aoba show before finishing 11th in the Japanese St. Leger. So it's fair to say, really, that regarding classics and pattern race, really, at this horse at the moment, Amakihi is falling a little bit short. The next race we need to take a look at is we're heading back into Europe now, probably for the final time in the Classic Watch 2025 cycle, and we're heading to France for the last classic of the French season, the Prix Royal Oak, the French St. Leger, a race that is available for older horses as well as 3-year-olds and held at Saint-Cloud. Unfortunately, this year there was no Classic Watch 2020, no Classic Watch representation at all in the race. We had a couple lined up. We had Karma's from Classic Watch 25 was entered at the late stage, and also the UK St. Leger winner from Classic Watch 2024 and Coronation Cup winner this year, Jan Bruegel, was also entered in the race at that stage. Sadly, neither of them ran. So before we take a look at the results, let's see how they performed on the day, shall we? And we will go from there.
That's it, lined up. They're off and racing. The Group 1 Prix Royal Oak begins 3,100 metres. In front of them, a mile, 7.5 furlongs. Caballo du Mar sticking away from the others. Early on, Tom Marquand happy to stay out towards the middle of the track, being a little antisocial. Queenstown got a decent start towards the right, and also Double Major. Royal Blue with the white sleeves goes handily. Up in behind the speed is Savannah's Knight, racing just in advance of Arrow Eagle. Then we have Espoir Avenir in the back marker. In the relatively early stages is Sunway, yellow jacket, white sleeves. Now Caballo du Mar is quite handy out wide, but Tom Marquand has been working the whole time. Just a little niggle all the way up the straight here past the judge with the full circuit to go. So Caballo du Mar encouraged to come up sides and edge across with Queenstown. Behind them, Double Major has just had to rein back with Caballo du Mar crossing. Savannah's Knight improves at the inside to move into the second spot. Double Major then back to fourth. Running to the fence is Espoir Avenir in the white and blue. Then Arrow Eagle, pink jacket, and back marker Sunway, yellow with the white sleeves. Double Major's now moved beyond Caballo du Mar and comes on past to take it up. A very interesting first quarter or so of the race with tactics here. Double Major now moves forwards to go on. So Maxime Guillon running slightly off the fence. Queenstown sticking to it, and Soumillon pokes the head back in front. So Queenstown, Double Major, bit stop start. Everyone having a turn as they take the left-hander and start to climb. Savannah's Knight on the inside for third, and then comes Caballo du Mar, who's now in fourth place. Espoir Avenir quietly ridden to the inside, and then Arrow Eagle, Christian Demuro, back marker Sunway. No headway so far. So Queenstown for O'Brien and Soumillon looking for their third Group 1 winner on the card. Queenstown from Double Major. Savannah's Knight continues to follow. Then the Cadran winner, Caballo du Mar for George Scott and Tom Marquand. Being closely followed by Arrow Eagle. Following that one through every step of the way so far. Arrow Eagle no move. The arc sixth on the inside is Espoir Avenir. And then the back marker is still Sunway. Just about 800 metres from home now. Turning back towards the straight in the Prix Royal Oak. Queenstown and Double Major. Caballo de Mar being stoked up to their outside. They're followed by Savannah's Night and Arrow Eagle, then Espoir Avenir, and finally Sunway. As they complete the corner, Queenstown tries to get off the inside. Has a bit of a bumping match there with Double Major, who's moving more powerfully. Caballo de Mar is flat down to the drive-in behind, not really responding. Then comes Savannah's Night. Arrow Eagle can't get to them. Double Major and Queenstown are fighting on at the moment. Espoir Avenir tries to creep up the inside. Trying to finish well now is Arrow Eagle, who is building up momentum. Arrow Eagle, the pink, is finishing off best of all here. Sweeping down the outside to take it up from Queenstown, and then Savannah's Night. Arrow Eagle will land the Prix Royal Oak. Second is close, Queenstown and Savannah's Night. Then Espoir Avenir, Double Major, Sunway and Caballo de Mar. Very disappointing. Success for the 4. Arrow Eagle has won the Prix Royal Oak. Eventually got rolling. It was a messy race, wasn't it, tactically? They all had a bit of a turn. Up top, quartet of them sort of sharing the
A very interesting race there, I thought. The French St Leger, as the commentator said. Plenty of to-in and throw-in for the lead, which to me would indicate that not many of them were happy with the initial pace, and there was a plenty of chopping and changing in the lead. But when push comes to shove at the end of the race, it was the 4-year-old brother of the ARC winner the other year, Ace Impact, Arrow Eagle, that managed to land the last French Classic of the year. Arrow Eagle, sired by Glen Eagles, out of a dam called Absolutely Me, who herself is sired by Anabar Blue, trained by Jean-Claude Rouget and ridden by Christian Demuro. Arrow Eagle winning the French St Leger with a Racing Post rating of 119. Second place on the day was the Galileo bred gelding, Queenstown, bred by Galileo out of a dam called Ware, who herself was sired by Danehill Dancer. Queenstown was sired by Aidan O'Brien and ridden by Christophe Soumillon, running to a Racing Post rating of 115. Third place on the day was another horse that was about 5th or 6th in the ARC last year, not this year, Savannah's Night, trained by Andre Farb, ridden by Michael Barcelona. Savannah's Night was sired by Camelot out of a dam called Savannah, who herself was sired by Galileo. And Savannah's Night ran to a Racing Post rating of 115. Don't forget, these are all older horses. Arrow Eagle, 4-year-old, Queenstown, 5-year-old, and so too Savannah's Night, a 5-year-old. The only 3-year-old that turned up was Espoir Avenir, and that horse finished 4th, the Christophe Furland side horse. So as we said, no Classic Watch 2025 runners in the race this year, unfortunately. But Arrow Eagle, I think on the day, was a worthy winner and a well-bred winner. Good to see him follow his older brother, Ace Impact, into the Group 1 winners' enclosure. Right, the final 4 races of the day. It's time now to switch to classicwatch2026.great/site.net. That is the website for Classic Watch 2026. Don't forget, the first 2 races were Classic Watch 2025 races. You'll see there Classic Watch 2026 is just really an early work in progress. It's got a placeholder on there for an image. It's got now Australian trained and New Zealand trained horses on it. The races we're going to take a look at now. It's also got an article sharing module introduced into the site since last time. People might have some trouble with that, but if you do, it's your ad blocker. Your ad blocker is blocking my sharer. So if you disable your ad blocker, your sharer will work. You'll see there the Classic Watch Roll of Honour is a lot less complete. Obviously, there is not as many horses on the site, and only Australian and New Zealand horses are on the site at the minute. We've got 1 listed 2-year-old winner on the site so far. The site has taken out 2 of the early Australian classics, so it'd be interesting to see how they go. It's fair to say, moving forward through the Australian season, bit of a gap at the minute because they're actually racing for Group 2 action out in Western Australia. We've also had the Sandown Guineas in Sandown as well. There's another Group 2 race, Group 1 classics only for Classic Watch, but there will be more Australian classics throughout the season, I should imagine. The next race we're going to take a look at on Classic Watch 2026 is actually the VRC Derby, the Victoria Derby, a race held at Flemington around the time of the Melbourne Cup. Classic Watch 2026 only had one horse going for it, and that was Observer in this race. I was hoping that the other colt we had, West of Swindon, was going to turn up in the race as well. But unfortunately, West of Swindon never turned up, which means it was over to Observer to try and do the business for Classic Watch 2026. So before we take a look at the result, let's take a look at the race and see what we think.
As Matsuda is brought forward and the field is set. They are ready. Signal, and they're racing in the Derby. Miwa jumped away, only fairly. Observer out well with Savvy Santa. Azazel out quickly, and High Vol from the deep is also coming over. So at the winning post with a lap to go, the favourite's going to lead Observer with High Vol hunting across. Azazel kept it wide. Savvy Santa behind them from Options. Then Arcora wider. Next Seamus, who's between horses. Deal done fast on the rails as they leave the straight from Engine of War 3 deep. One step closer on the fence, then Matsuda. Providence between horses. Amazaki well back. Then came Miwa, McWoody, and Last Autumn Mystery to the riverside. And the leader is Observer, striding out by 2 lengths. High Vol and Savvy Santa third as they approach the 1,800 metres. 2 further back is Azazel. 4th outside of Options, a length and a half. Arcora, Deal done fast. Then came Seamus, 1 step closer. Engine of War is 2/3 down the field and 3 wide as they continue their journey past the mile. Further back is Amazaki on the inside of horses. And then came well back in the field by Providence, and then came Amazaki, Matsuda, well back in the field, Miwa, McWoody, and Autumn Mystery to the top of the course at the 1,400 metres, and Mark Zara is going to try and take luck completely out of the equation and lead all of the way in the Derby. It's Observer by about 1 3/4 lengths and slowed it up at Chiquita Lodge from High Vol. Savvy Santa third, and 4th is Azazel. 1 length Options, and then came Arcora, no speed on. Deal done fast is next, and then came Seamus. Around it, 3 wide. Engine of War is progressing. 1 length, 1 step closer, Providence. Matsuda around those horses. 1 length and 1/4, Amazaki. Then McWoody, Miwa, 2 lengths Autumn Mystery with a lot to do. So Observer led the Derby at the 900 metres, 3/4 of a length in front, and has had a cheap run from High Vol. Azazel now hooks out 3 wide, a length off the lead. Savvy Santa behind those. They were followed by Options and Arcora. Engine of War has always been wide. It's 4 deep now. Matsuda 5 deep, trying to loop them. Next in the field, Seamus as they start to sprint it up around the corner. Deal done fast is next, and they were followed by 1 step closer. Amazaki, McWoody hooks the widest. So it's Observer has controlled the tempo. 400 metres to go. Zara sitting pretty, led by 2 legs to Savvy Santa. Arcora runs on. Deal done fast, and then whacking away 1 step closer. Now he calls for Observer at the clock tower. How much left at the 200 metres? 1 length and a half. Arcora, Deal done fast. Observer, 100 to go. Grits his teeth, led 3/4 Arcora. Observer's holding them. He's the stronger. He's the winner. Observer won the Derby. Second, Arcora. Deal done fast in a photo for third with 1 step closer. Then Savvy Santa, Providence, Miwa, Autumn Mystery. Behind them, Seamus, Options, Engine of War, High Vol, Amazaki, McWoody, Matsuda. And at the tail of the field, Azazel. Observer's won the Derby. Mark Zara, what a day he's having with 4 in a row. Ridden by Mark Zara, Kieran Maher wins the race for the 2nd time and becomes the 6th horse.
Very good performance there, I thought, from the Classic Watch 2026 horse Observer. Under a superb ride, I do think that was, from Mark Zara. You saw there. I mean, the horse has pretty much dictated terms all through the race, hasn't it? It's led all the way and has given Godolphin a Victoria Derby. Good performance from Observer. Observer sired by Gayath, a European-based sire, out of a dam called Smooth, who herself is out of Lonro. Observer trained by Kieran Maher and ridden by Mark Zara, running to a racing post rating of only 113 to take that race out. Just goes to show the weakness, really, of the opposition. Observer. On the other day, he was quite well fancied by me before the race, especially after winning at Mooney Valley the way he did, and it proved so. Second on the day was a 60-1 shot, Arcora, trained by Trent Basutin and Natalie Young, and ridden by John Allen, sired by Justify, out of a dam called Calzarina Forest, who herself is out of Fastnet Rock. Arcora running to a racing post rating of 110. And good to see all colts. The first three home, all colts this year. Deal Done Fast was third, the 30-1 shot, sired by Dundeal, out of Fast Susan, who herself is sired again by Fastnet Rock. Dundeal Fast trained by Matt Kumani and ridden by Daniel Stackhouse. And that horse was given a racing post rating of 109. The fourth gelding home was one step closer at 100-1. You'll see there that the Observer has done the job for Classic Watch 2026. Just making sure we didn't have no more in the race. No more in the race for Classic Watch 26. We were hoping, like I said, that Western Swindon would take his chance in the race. Quick take a look at the horse now, Observer. You'll see now Observer has won 3 out of his 7 starts. A horse that's finished out of the first 2 in only once in 7 starts and is now on a 2-race win streak. Still showing a return of investment of minus 19% though, due to the low prices he has been going off. You'll see there that the horse hasn't been seen since running them 2 quick races in the Drummond Golf Vars Group 2 and the Howden Victoria Derby Group 1 races that he won. And he was also, don't forget, third in the Caulfield Guineas behind Autumn Boy. So a pretty good first part of the season campaign for Observer up to this point. The next race we're going to take a look at is also an Australian Classics for the fillies over the same trip at Flemington. This race is run the Thursday after the Melbourne Cup. In the week, the Melbourne Cup is on the Tuesday. This meeting is on the Thursday, and then there's another meeting after that with the Coolmore Sprint. The race this year and last year, I think, was called the Crown Oaks. And again, Classic Watch 26 was relying on one horse this year. We had a couple of fillies lined up, including the winner of the Caulfield Guineas, Ollie Dancer, but she chose not to be Upton Trip and go for an Oaks campaign. So we relied on a horse that had been beaten in many a pattern race, heading into the campaign, into the race that Justify sired Just a Journey. So before we take a look at the race and how that horse is performing, before we take a look at the results, let's watch the race and see what we think.
Set for the Crown Oaks. And away they go. And get a good feeling from barrier number 3. Broke away cleanly, but Voting Rights beat her out with Ethereum Girl, and Spicy Lou is tugging up to second. Out deeper on the track, Just a Journey showing speed. Get a good feeling, looking for a forward position. Zoo Clear on the rails. Ethereum Girl got to about 5th or 6th. Classic Gem next. Then After Summer, further back Marisu Ojo. 2 further back in the field is the Pearls, and then came the rails She's a Diva. 4 lengths Janie Bopper, and on the inside Strictly Business last as they head towards the riverside. So 2,000 metres to go. Zoo Claire took it up by 2 lengths. Voting Rights is second, and then came Spicy Lou continuing on that wide run steadily. Ethereum Girl is 4th on the rails, a bit more relaxed today. 1 1/4 Just a Journey deeper, and then Get a Good Feeling, who's tucked in 6th, one off the fence outside of After Summer as they reach the 1,600 metres in the Oaks. Classic Gem is forced to race wide. She's a Diva next the inner. Marisu Ojo between fillies. 2 further back is the Pearls, and then came Janie Bopper and Strictly Business last at the 1,400 metres. Zoo Claire striding out. Quite a good tempo in the Oaks at this stage, led by about 1.5 lengths. Spicy Lou is second. Just a Journey is third outside of Ethereum Girl. They were followed next by Voting Rights and After Summer. The next pair, Get a Good Feeling, the outside of She's a Diva. Then Classic Gem, Marisu Ojo. The Pearls as well, back third last. Then came Strictly Business, and Janie Bopper is at the tail. The bolter and hooking out 3 wide, thinking about a move as they run towards towards the side of Flemington Racecourse. So they reached the 1,000 and Zoo Claire strung them out a little, about 2 lengths to Spicy Lou, and then Ethereum Girl Just a Journey as the leader stops and starts them and comes back to them now, leading 3/4 Spicy Lou at the 800. Ethereum Girl is third from Just a Journey. Voting Rights in plenty of air now, 3 wide. After Summer next. Get a Good Feeling tracking Voting Rights. Getting off the fences, She's a Diva. Then Classic Gem, the Pearls, a satellite around the outside and is starting a looper. Then came Marissa Ojo, passed by Strictly Business as the field really pack, and then Janie Bopper. They run for the money in the Crown Oaks. 450 metres to go. Spicy Lou momentarily hit the front. Here's Get a Good Feeling and the Pearls on the outside. The 2 favourites joining in now. And at the 300 metres, it's Get a Good Feeling about 3/4 of a length in front of the Pearls, who won't give in. And Strictly Business right down the centre at the 200. Get a Good Feeling. The Pearls grabbed by Strictly Business. Strictly Business stays on. She's the stronger. She comes away. John Allen for Tom Carberry. It's a famous win, 3 lengths. Second, the Pearls. Third, After Summer. Fourth, Classic Gem. Ethereum Girl. And they were followed by Get a Good Feeling. Next, Spicy Lou. Followed then by Voting Rights. She's a Diva. Towards the end, Janie Bopper, with also Just a Journey, Zoo Claire and Marissa Oju. Strictly Business. Thomas Carberry, the winning trainer, and Johnny Allen, the Irishman, salutes. It's the luck of the Irish in the Crown Oaks.
Very good performance, I thought, there by Strictly Business on the day. She really was a good winner, a ready winner, it's fair to say. Of the Crown Oaks on the day, not too sure what she beat on the day. The disappointing run from Just a Journey on the day. But the winner was Strictly Business, trained by Thomas Carberry and ridden by John Allen, sired by Grunt out of a dam called Tivoli Lass, who herself was sired by Uncle Mo. Strictly Business, a 3.5 length winner, and the horse was given a Racing Post rating of 110 for that race. Second was the Pearls, a New Zealand bred horse sired by Prosier out of the Perlia, who herself was sired by Volkswagen. The Pearls, trained by Chris Waller and ridden by James McDonald, she was given a Racing Post rating of 103. And in third place was After Summer, the filly, sired by the Autumn Sun out of a dam called Al Jazra, who herself was sired by Scirocco. After Summer was trained by Dominic Sutton and ridden by Billy Egan, and the horse ran to a Racing Post rating of 102. Like I said, pretty convincing winner there, Strictly Business, but you will see that the rating of 110 is the lowest rating we have been given so far in any of the 4 videos that we have looked at. So, Strictly Business, the winner of the Group 1 Crown Oaks. We best take a look at Just a Journey. A horse really was disappointing on the day, drifted all week it did really. The 15-1 shot, Just a Journey, sired by Justify out of a dam called Caravan, who herself was sired by Snitzel. Just a Journey finished 11th, only managing to beat 2 home. The horse ridden by Blake Shin and trained by Michael Friedman, only awarded a Racing Post rating of 78 on the day. And when you beat 1 horse home in the Guineas, that's probably 2 horses home, in a classic. That is probably about the rating you deserve, especially when the winner was only rated 110. Taking a look at Just a Journey, you'll see she's won 3 out of her 9 starts, finished second 3 times and third once, but the horse hasn't won now for 3 starts, 2 seconds in trials, and an unplaced effort that we saw there in the Crown Oaks. 2 second places at Group 2 and Group 3 level, and a convincing defeat in the Group 1 Classic. Not really what we were looking for from Just a Journey. She's currently earned 236,000 Australian dollars, and hopefully she will go better throughout the Australian season. Who knows? We might see her more. We might see her in some more classics later on in the year. Time will tell. Right, we're going to break ground now on Classic Watch 2026.great/site.net and take a look for the first time in the Classic Watch series at the New Zealand Classics. While they're Group 1s, we will take a look at them And we're going to start by taking a look at two races that took place earlier this month. One took place on the 8th of November, and the other one took place on the 15th of November. We're going to take a look firstly at the New Zealand 1,000 guineas and then the New Zealand 2,000 guineas. Don't forget, for the first time on the Classic Watch series, as we continue to take a look at world racing, we're hopefully maybe going to take a look at some South African classics at some point, if the grades are high enough, Grade 1 races over Guineas and miles trips and leisure trips. We will be taking a look at some South African classics, hopefully. No South African horses on the website at the moment or on the YouTube channel. So we will start by taking a look firstly at the New Zealand 1,000 guineas for fillies, a race that took place on, like I said, the 8th of November. We had Classic Watch 25, Classic Watch 26 managed to find two fillies in the race. Little Black Dress is one that I did earlier in the year just to get some New Zealand horses on the YouTube channel. And it could be argued that she has done very well to secure her place in a New Zealand Classic. She's gone all the way through the process and has shown me plenty of trials, which is exactly what I wanted her to do. And I also decided to chance a horse called Origin of Love, who managed to win a Group 3 trial out in New Zealand, the War Decree Stakes, ahead of the New Zealand 1,000 guineas. So let's take a look at the New Zealand 1,000 guineas now, shall we? And see what we think.
Today they're off and racing, and it was the best start of the day. Cool Azarine going forward from the wide draw to take up the early running. Going forward with it on the outside is Origin of Love to sit second. And Well Written is going to slide over to third on the outside of Cream Tart. There's a length and a half. Belle de Monde on the outside of Lollapalooza. Bonaforza and Miss Starlight together, then Miss Ziggy. Balcheval third last from Little Black Dress, and outside of it is Savvy Donna. So the leader is Cool Azarine, led by 3/4 without there being any pressure at all. Parked up on the outside, running second, is Origin of Love. Third on the fence, Cream Tart, Well Written. Head on the chest, running fourth. She's relaxed nicely. There's a length and a half away to Lollapalooza, fifth the rail. A half a length away on the outside to Belle de Monde. There's two off to Miss Starlight and Bonaforza. Well back, Balcheval. Miss Ziggy outside of her, 3 lengths, Little Black Dress and Savvy Donna. So Cool Azarine. 700 metres to go, out by 2 lengths, Origin of Love. Then Cream Tart, Well Written, 3 off the leader. A length and a half behind it as they turn the corner is Belle de Monde. They're followed next of all by Bonaforza, who's pulled wide. Lollapalooza between horses. Miss Starlight along the inside of the 400 and the 1,000 guineas. And it's the Tiakau pair. Cool Azarine found a kick underneath of Origin of Love. Well Written's now presented for its run. She's been popped the question by Matt Cartwright. She strode up and hit the front of the 200 metres. Well Written edged away by 2.5 or 3 lengths on Lollapalooza, but it's Well Written, a flawless story. Well Written, the jewel in the Guineas crown. What a filly she is. Well Written by 3 lengths beats Lollapalooza. Belcheval third and fourth, Bonaforza. They were followed in next of all by the following runners were Cream Tart, also there, Origin of Love. They were followed by Miss Starlight, Miss Ziggy, then Little Black Dress. Well back was Savvy Donna from Cool Azarine, and the last of them in will be Belle de Monde. What have we just witnessed? This filly is something else.
What a performance there, it's fair to say, in the first New Zealand-based classic we've ever looked at in the Classic Watch series. It's just a shame that there wasn't enough in the pedigree to enable Classic Watch 26 to latch on to the winner of the New Zealand 1,000 guineas. She does look a very good filly, doesn't she? If her form against the New Zealand-based fillies is anything to go by, surely they will switch this filly to Australia at some point after she has done that. That is what tends to happen. We'll take a look at the result of the 3:41 at Riccarton Park, the 53rd New Zealand 1,000 guineas. Very good race, won by Well Written, the 1-2 favourite on the day, sired by Written Tycoon out of a dam called Mozzie Monster, who herself was sired by Sebring. Well Written, trained by Stephen Marsh and ridden by Matthew Cartwright. winning by 2.5 lengths. But it was the style of victory, wasn't it? Really, she was so much better than all of the others. And that is why the Racing Post Rating have given her the highest rating of this video so far, 121, for winning the New Zealand 1000 Guineas. Second place, beaten 2.25 lengths, was another New Zealand filly, Lollapalooza, trained by Graham Richardson and Rogan Norval, and ridden by Vinnie Colgan. Lollapalooza sired by Al Mocha out of Carnival, a New Zealand bred mare, who herself was sired by Showcasing. Lollapalooza given a Racing Post rating of 111 for winning this race. Very good performance to finish second in a classic. In third was Belcheval. Belcheval, trained by Mark Walker and Sam Bergerson, and ridden by Sam Weatherly. Belcheval sired by Southerville, the filly, out of Keeper Cheval, who herself was sired by Keeper. Belcheval given a Racing Post rating of 108 for finishing third. We'll take a look at how the best Classic Watch 25 could manage in its first effort in the New Zealand Classic was 5th place. From the Mark Walker and Sam Bergerson trained Origin of Love, ridden on the day by Joe Doyle, sired by Snitzel out of a dam called Re-Edit, who herself was sired by Camelot. Origin of Love finishing 5th and was given a Racing Post rating on the day of 106. Little Black Dress, unfortunately, could only finish 10th. Little Black Dress, trained by Stephen Marsh and ridden by Wirimu Pin on the day, sired by Snitzel out of a dam called Star Fashion, who herself was sired by Street Cry. Little Black Dress finishing 10th and was given a Racing Post rating on the day of 98. And she only managed to beat 2 home on the day. A very disappointing run, really, it's fair to say, against the fillies for Little Black Dress. But she was actually due to turn up next week as well. She's going to turn up in the 2000 Guineas as well. So we're going to take a look at Origin of Love. In this part of the video, Origin of Love, you'll see there, has had 5 runs in her career. She has finished second. She has finished third once, first twice, and 5th twice. So she has won 2 out of her 5 starts. And she has currently earned 91,040 New Zealand dollars in her career so far. 57,500 were gained when winning the Group 3 Wardy Cree Stakes. This also is a Group winner, don't forget. But she was only 5th in the Classic, where she earned another 15,000 guineas. The last race we're going to take a look at in this video, last but not least, it's time for the New Zealand Colts. And we're going to take a look at the New Zealand 2000 Guineas, held again at Riccarton Park a week later than the fillies on the 15th of November. This race has only just recently been taken place. It was a bonus for us when the filly Little Black Dress turned up to give us a second runner in the race. With the Classic Watch 26 had also chanced War of Silence, another Tiaka racing horse who had managed to win earlier on its debut, first time out in the season. So before we take a look at the performance of both those horses and the result of the race, let's take a look at the race and see what we think. Oops.
Going with it on the outside, War of Silence. Hunting through in the middle is Romanoff, and getting handy wider is Mission Complete, and right with those also in the centre is He Who Dares. So it's He Who Dares and Mission Complete leading from Swiss Prince and Romanoff. To Capital came around 3 wide, and in the centre is Magic Carpet. Affirmative Action sticks wide from A Lot Ago, who's along the inside of Tajana. She's midfield. She has Little Black Dress to her outside, and a gap of 2 lengths away then to War of Silence, who's drifted right back now on the outside of Shoma, then Kiwi Magic from Intention, and a half a length away to Professional Lad. With 900 metres left to go, Mission Complete up on the outside of He Who Dares, and there's a neck between them, a length and a half away to Romanoff, who's between the ownership mates, Swiss Prince along the inside, and to Capital 3D. Affirmative Action and Magic Carpet follow her from A Lot Ago the middle. Tajana looking for a run as Little Little Black Dress came wider. War of Silence well back, and then came Shoma from Intention and Professional Lad. They come around the corner. Mission Complete in the centre with He Who Dares. 2 lengths away then to Capital. Romanov getting through on the inside. Presented Affirmative Action. Little Black Dress seems to be enjoying the conditions. She's coming home nicely as well. 2,000 guineas. Affirmative Action swept up and hit the lead. Little Black Dress chasing. Shoma from the back. Romanov far side. Sticking on He Who Dares. It's the Pam Jared pair.
Well, I don't know what's happened there. Looks to me like the internet has broken. Let's pause the video a minute and see if we can save this race, save this video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, funny old goings on with the internet there. It wouldn't load the second half of the race on the internet connection I was on. I don't know why. So, again, I've had to switch internet connection, and we should be able now to watch the end of the New Zealand 2,000 guineas and complete the video. Hopefully, all things will be equal.
Then to Capital. Romanov getting through on the inside. Presented Affirmative Action. Little Black Dress seems to be enjoying the conditions. She's coming home nicely as well. 2,000 guineas. Affirmative Action swept up and hit the lead. Little Black Dress chasing. Shoma from the back. Romanov far side. Sticking on He Who Dares. It's the Pam Jared pair. Romanov and Affirmative Action. Then He Who Dares. Wider out is Shoma. It's Romanov in front from Affirmative Action. Romanov and Affirmative Action. Romanov, Affirmative Action. They hit the line. I think Affirmative Action a nose. Pam Jared is going to own the moment again in the 2,000 guineas. Maybe Affirmative Action to beat Romanov. She gets the Quinella. Third and either Shoma or Professional Lad, and then came Little Black Dress. He Who Dares from a lot ago. Magic Carpet. Mission Complete. They were followed in by Intention, and then Swiss Prince from Tajana. Kiwi Magic finishing well back was War of Silence, and to Capital quick to pull up. Affirmative Action has put in a dive for George Rook at Romanov on the inside. Pam Jared, she wouldn't have known where to look. Romanov was in front. Affirmative Action's come at it, right on the line. Here's the replay in the 2,000 guineas. Romanov, Affirmative Action, they hit it. Oh, it's desperately tight. Romanov still a chance. It's a photo, 6 and 1. Romanov inside may just have the advantage. Either way, it's Pam Jared. Affirmative Action and Romanov hitting the line together in the Albasti Equiwheel Dubai 53rd New Zealand 2,000 guineas. It's a photo finish. We need the judge.
Goodness me, that's tight on the line. It's so hard to separate between these two. We know Pam Jared has won.
What a finish. In the last video, we're going to take a look at in the race, the New Zealand video, the New Zealand 2,000 guineas. What a terrific finish between the two Jarrett-owned horses there. Unfortunately, the Classic Watch horses beaten on the day, but it was the Pam Jared trained Romanov that was given the verdict in the photograph, trained by Pam Jared and trained by Bruno Quiros. Romanov sired by Bellardo, a former European Group 1 winning horse out of a dam called Zarina Bell, who herself was sired by Stravinsky. It might have been a fantastic finish, but the race was the lowest rated of the videos that we've taken a look at in this video. Romanov given a Racing Post rating of 109 for winning the New Zealand 2,000 guineas. Second place, denied by the narrowest of margins, was another Pam Gerard runner, Affirmative Action, trained by Pam Gerard and ridden by George Rook, the horse sired by Yes, 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 out of a dam called Search Approach, who herself was sired by Dawn Approach. That horse was given a Racing Post rating also of 109. And in third place on the day was the 104 to 1 shot, Shoma, horse trained by Paul Mirabelli and ridden by Samantha Collett. Shoma sired by Contributor out of Big Dreamer, who herself was sired by No Excuse Needed, a Racing Post rating of 106 for that horse, Shoma, the first gelding past the post. But again, the first two home were colts. The first Classic Watch horse home in the year, but meaning we have beaten our fifth in the New Zealand 2,000 guineas with a fourth in the New Zealand 2,000 guineas from the filly, Little Black Dress, running much better this time to finish in fourth place. the horse sired by Snitzel out of a dam, as we know, called Star Fashion, who herself was sired by Street Cry. Little Black Dress trained by Stephen Marsh, and this time ridden by Cosy Asano, given a Racing Post rating of 100, the filly. She managed to beat He Who Dares, the colt, and another gelding, Professional Lad. The other horse we need to take a look at ran quite disappointingly, really. War of Silence. I was hoping for much better than the 13th place it finished with. It was one, really, that never even seemed fancied in the race by his powerful connections. War of Silence, trained by Mark Walker and Sam Bergerson and ridden on the day by Matthew Cameron. The horse sired by Snitzel and trained and bred by the filly Silent Sedition, who herself is out of War Champ. 13th, beaten 13.5 length, and was only given a Racing Post rating of 78, which I don't think many people can have complaints about, really, watching the performance. It wasn't exactly filled with optimism for the rest of the New Zealand season. Taking a look at the two horses, the first one we're going to take a look at is War of Silence. That was only the fourth run in his career. He has now finished in the first three in 3 of his 4 starts, after finishing first and second in his first 2 starts, and then finishing third in the Group 3 War Decree Stakes, the race that the horse that ran in the fillies race, Origin of Love, managed to win. So that was a pretty disappointing run, really, by the Guineas. But I always said, as I said in my video, that if the horse won first time out in that Tony Dennis maiden got to the Guineas, I would follow it, and they got it there. I followed it, and unfortunately this time, my bravery did not pay off. The other horse we need to take a look at is Little Black Dress, a horse really that has ran with immense credit throughout this series. I only picked her really as an outside Guineas hope very early in the season. But if you look at her form, she's ran in some trials. She finished third in the Group 3 Sunline Vars, where she finished third. She also finished second in the Group 2 Soliloquy Stakes as well, behind the winner on the day, Well Written. So Well Written really did confirm form with her after the Soliloquy Stakes. She then finished a rather disappointing 10th in the 53rd New Zealand 1,000 Guineas. Bounced back to some extent to finish 4th in the Colts division, the 2,000 Guineas, in a race which did look a little bit weaker, it's fair to say, than the fillies race on the figures of the winner. So Little Black Dress currently has won 177,500 Australian dollars in prize money. She's been ticking it over quite nicely, but she's still only got that listed victory at pattern level to show for her success in 10 races, and she has actually only won 2 of them now. But I think she's done well for us, because I was looking for a certain sort of pathfinder to take ourselves through the New Zealand trials, to allow ourselves to look at some horses, and she has certainly done that. Right, I think it's fair now. I think we can leave this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody who has taken the time to watch this classic review with me. As always, it has been much appreciated. Hopefully I'll be back at some point with some classic watch horses, maybe even some National Hunt horses, or another review video. That's the thing with me, you never quite know what's coming up next. Which is why I think it's important that you take advantage of the opportunity I give you to subscribe to the channel, which I will give you at the end of this video. That way you will miss none of my content moving forward. Don't forget, there is also the Patreon along the line as well, with Newman Racing. I think that's called some paid content, some content where you will only see if you have done the right thing and you have supported me along this horse racing journey that we are all on. I don't mind doing the heavy loading, as long as you guys all do the right thing and support when you deem it appropriate. And what I'll also do is I will leave you a playlist to watch at the end of the video as well. I will leave the Classic Watch 25 playlist. That will allow you to watch all the review races from the Classic Watch 25 series, a couple from the last video, a couple from this one, and a couple and the other videos earlier in the year that you will always also be able to see. So thank you very much. What we've got coming up this week, it's a quiet week really. It's the start really. National Hunt racing really goes up a level this year. I think it's the John Durkan in Northern Ireland and the Betfair Chase. Other bookies and much better bookmakers are available. The Lancashire Chase, we'll call it, at Haydock. Yeah, very interesting race. Always the first real Group 1 chases of the year in both, not in Ireland because they've had one at Down Royal, but another Group 1 chase held in Ireland as well, the John Durkin, as well as the Lancashire chase at Haydock. But for now, I will leave this video here. Thank you very much to everybody who has taken the time to watch it. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week and a fantastic upcoming weekend. Look after yourselves and your loved ones, everybody. Take care of each other. I will see you soon, hopefully, and goodbye.